Hi, I'm Jason Munshi-South, an associate professor of biology at Fordham University. Our lab is really dedicated to understanding how organisms change and adapt to living in cities.
My work is focused on the rats of New York City. We're trying to understand how they migrate through the landscape, how they are able to use a very complex urban environment which most other mammals of their size have been precluded from.
My lab, along with 3 other scientists here at the Louis Calder Center, applied for a grant from the National Science Foundation for a liquid handling robot.
So we take a tissue sample from these rats and we have to take out the genetic information, the DNA, break it up in a very precise way and prepare it to be sequenced.
And then use the sequences to make inferences about how these organisms are changing and adapting to urban life. What the liquid handling robot does is it can carry out many of the tasks that a student or technician would be doing by hand with these DNA sequences. This part of the work, when we're in the lab, represents the largest bottleneck to our success.
I spent a lot of time in this lab over the past semester, and it's time that's required to prepare the DNA, but really I want to be analyzing it. And so if we can minimize the time and maximize the precision with which we can generate these DNA sequences, which is what this robot is made for and what we're hoping we can put it to use for, then we can spend a lot more time and energy on the analyses.
It can work overnight or times when we're not in the laboratory, and it can do the same thing over and over again without making errors at the same rate a human would. So we can now spend a lot more of our time on analyzing data and understanding how organisms are adapting in New York City rather than spending most of our time at the bench prepping these samples. We're doing similar work on coyotes to understand how coyotes are moving around the city. And the city government has a lot of interest in coming up with some real policies for how to deal with coyotes. Because right now, there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of misunderstanding. The city is not, they don't have a written set of rules for what they're going to do when a coyote moves from the Bronx to Manhattan. And this is a really exciting part of the research for us. Given that we're at Fordham University and we're located in New York City, it gives us the opportunity to contribute to the city and its human residents in a way that we otherwise might not if we were studying different kind of questions.